Wanted to believe that perhaps it was just firecrackers going off.
The time is 10 a.m. and now on WKYT Mid-Morning, tragedy strikes France again. The death toll is slowly climbing after a man drives a truck through crowds in Nice.
Also, state leaders are weighing in on the tragedy in France, what they have to say about the latest attack.
And Kentucky's General Assembly passed dozens of new laws this spring, but we start feeling the impact of those starting today. We'll go over some of the new laws in the Commonwealth coming up.
This is WKYT Mid-Morning.
And good morning to you. We're starting to dry out a little bit here as we're looking toward the weekend, but still tracking some showers and storms that are kind of lingering around today.
It'll be something we're going to watch, and everybody trying to make some weekend plans. So let's go to WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris with a quick look at that forecast.
Yeah, you know, we had a shower or two early this morning down in southern Kentucky, and then that kind of faded away, and now our focus is not on southern Kentucky anymore. It's on northern Kentucky, because that's where we're going to be seeing some of these thunderstorms building later on this afternoon. We're already at 77 degrees here in Lexington, getting bits and pieces of sunshine, and so we'll call it a mixture of sun and clouds right now. It's pretty humid outside. It's going to be that way the rest of the day. Storm or two is in the forecast, and we're going to go over when you can expect those to pop up and where, because not everybody has that chance to rain today. I'm going to get into that and obviously that big weekend forecast coming up.
All right, we'll check out all that timing shortly. Thank you, Micah.
Well, another tragic attack in France. Police there are investigating what led to what they call a terror attack in the resort town of Nice.
More than 80 people, including several children, were killed when the driver of a truck drove through crowds gathered for Bastille Day celebrations. Police eventually killed the driver. CBS's Tina Krause has the latest on the case in our top story.
Forensic teams in Nice examined the bullet-ridden white truck overnight. Its driver, identified as Mohamed Lahouej Bouhlel by CBS News sources, mowed down dozens of people celebrating Bastille Day just hours before. This amateur video shows police shooting at the driver as the truck came to a stop. Moments before, eyewitnesses captured the vehicle picking up speed as it barreled down the promenade.
I seen one guy actually running, sobbing, crying. We've seen people holding babies, screaming, shouting, mothers running for cover.
51-year-old Sean Copeland of Texas and his 11-year-old son Brody were among those killed. Ben Terry captured this video as he and others hid in the storage room of a restaurant amid the chaos.
We wanted to believe that perhaps it was just firecrackers going off or fireworks, but it became clear that it was something a lot more sinister than that.
L'horreur de nouveau vient de s'abattre sur la France.
Hours after the attack, French President François Hollande declared terror had hit the country again. President Obama also condemned the attack. French officials are now looking into who else may have played a role. So far, no group has claimed responsibility. Tina Krause, CBS News.
And France's president has extended a state of emergency and plans to mobilize troops to bolster security.
We have also just learned in our newsroom that the American killed in France worked for Lexmark. Lexmark is telling us that Sean Copeland worked at their Colfax facility in Texas, so that word just coming in. As we learn some new details this mid-morning about the terror attack in France, our own state leaders are weighing in on the tragedy. Governor Matt Bevin tweeted overnight, "The tragedy unfolding in France is another heartbreaking example of radical fanatics who hate Western culture." And Senate Majority Leader and Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell released a statement this morning saying, quote, "While we will soon learn more about the shocking events in Nice, what will not change is that America stands with the people of France as they grieve for the tragic loss of life and will stand with them in their response and recovery." Now, we'll continue to track the latest out of France as more details come out today on WKYT.com and on the WKYT News app. Download that for free in the app or Google Play stores. And also new at mid-morning, state police now investigating a deadly fire in Harlan County. The fire started early this morning on Old U.S. Highway 119 in the Blair community. Firefighters found the body of a man inside the home. The cause of the fire is not known right now. The body has been sent to the state medical examiner's office in Frankfort. Troopers do not believe foul play was involved in the situation. They have not released the name of the man.
And in Boyle County, deputies are investigating a deadly crash that killed a teenager. It happened around 10 o'clock last night at the intersection of US 127 and Shelby Street in Junction City. Deputies say a car was headed southbound on US 127 when 3 people tried crossing the street. They say the car hit one of the pedestrians, 19-year-old John Knight. Knight was taken to the hospital, where he later died.
Well, it has gone unsolved for more than 20 years, but family members of 2 people murdered in Pulaski County are not giving up hope. Investigators say 21-year-old Linda Gibson and her 4-year-old half-brother Cody Garrett were both killed in July of 1994. Their bodies were found brutally murdered just a few days after they disappeared. Linda's 3 younger brothers now believe she may have known about some criminal activity that was going on in Somerset at the time. The sheriff's office has told us in the past that they think Cody was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I know that people out there for 20-something years have seen it and heard about this. Either they're afraid to tell, or they're afraid to tell what they know, and on who they know it on, or because I just don't believe that nobody don't know anything.
The Gibson brothers say Pulaski County Sheriff Greg Speck has recently personally reached out to them to discuss the case.
A former Kentucky corrections officer is finding himself on the wrong side of the bars this mid-morning. State police arrested DeMar Jones on Tuesday and charged him with sexual abuse and official misconduct. State police say they got complaints about the misconduct from the Kentucky Correctional Institution for Women near Pee Wee Valley about a week ago. Our news partners at the Herald Leader report that Jones was fired the next day after he was interviewed by state police. This morning, Jones, who's from Lexington, is in the Shelby County Jail. He's being held on a $5,000 cash bond.
Dozens of new laws are now in effect in the Commonwealth today. The measures were passed during the state's General Assembly, which was meeting earlier this year in Frankfort. And most of them take effect 90 days after the legislature adjourns, which is today. Some of the laws to remember this year: marriage licenses are getting a makeover. A new law creates a single form in which people can identify themselves as bride, groom, or just a spouse. The State Forensic Laboratory will gradually reduce the time it takes to test sexual assault kits down to 60 days or less by 2020. And when it comes to DUIs, a new law will allow courts to look back at 10 years of prior convictions instead of 5 years as it has been previously. Now, we have a list of several of the new laws going into effect today on WKYT.com. Also happening today, Kentucky bourbon distilleries can start selling mixed drinks to tourists. The Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control says 10 of the state's 54 distilleries have already filed applications. The M.B. Roland Distillery in Pembroke and the Dueling Grounds Distillery in Franklin are scheduled to receive their licenses today. Others are still in the application process.
The new Ark Encounter Park in northern Kentucky is responding to a warning telling school districts not to visit the park. The Grant County Park is offering an incentive for public schools, encouraging them to take field trips there. According to our news partners at the Herald Leader, admission to the Noah's Ark replica will be $1 for every public school student visiting the park on a school-sponsored field trip. Teachers will get in free. Earlier this week, the Freedom from Religion Foundation said having school districts visit the park would violate the constitutional separation of church and state. Kentucky's Education Commissioner has told schools that neither outside groups nor state education officials should dictate field trip selection.
A familiar face is joining the Lexington-Fayette Urban County Airport Board. We've learned this morning that the Commissioner of Public Safety, Ronnie Baston, has been added to the 10-person board. Baston is replacing outgoing airport board member Richard Hopgood. He will serve a 4-year term. Baston used to be chief of police here in Lexington. Well, the Bluegrass Fair is back, and it is in full swing today, this afternoon, when the gates open.
The annual Lexington Lions Club Bluegrass Fair kicked off Thursday at Masterson Station Park. As always, the fair includes rides, shows, and plenty of food. The gates open at 5 p.m. weekdays and at 3 p.m. on weekends. The fair continues through Sunday, July 24th. Admission will cost you $6, but it's free for ages 6 and under.
All right, a lot of fun, a lot of food. Looks
Lots
good.
to do.
All right, keep it here on Mid-Morning. From WKYT News, we're glad you're with us here on this Friday.
Game of Thrones is set to rule the Emmys again. We'll break down the Emmy nominations after the break.
It's pretty calm out there right now, but I will tell you this, we're starting to see some storms spark up in the northern zones, slowly work their way southbound. It's not a great chance, but there is a chance today. What about your weekend, though? That's what all of us want to know about. And I'll have that coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
You still feel that humid feel outside, and we're going to hold on to that one more day, and then I promise you this weekend you'll feel a difference in the air because our dew points are going to drop as we travel off towards your weekend. 77 degrees right now, very popular number across Lexington and Danville, back toward Frankfort, Lawrenceburg, my friends there, Shelbyville, Simpsonville, out toward the outlet malls. I would say right now, if you're trying to head out toward the outlet malls, it's a good time to go, but once you hit that 2, 3, maybe even 4 p.m. time, that's where those storms will be developing back toward the central and northern zones. So temperatures feel pretty good right now. There's not much going on outside. These clouds are trying to separate just a bit, get that heating going on. That's probably what you don't want when you have a day like today. Most of us are looking at least, or most of us are going to be dry, but some of us are looking at least the possibility at some heavy downpours and a lot of lightning. But strong storms cannot be ruled out. An isolated stray severe cell is a possibility, but it's not very likely. It's a very, very small chance. We got the front back toward the north of us. Milder air swinging on in. It's more about the feeling, and it's more about the humidity, I should say, instead of the temperatures. Because this isn't really a cold front. It's more of a dry front, meaning it'll come barreling on through and drop our dew points, and that's always good for us. Look at 2, 3 p.m. Yeah, things spark up toward the north, and that's where all eyes are on today, the northern zones into the central zones. There's 4 p.m. Let's go off toward 5, 6, 7 p.m. Still bits and pieces laying around, but I do want you to remember that this is no washout. It's no widespread weather today. It'll be hit and miss. Some will see it, and then your neighbor down the street about 5, 10 miles away won't. It's just one of those types of setups. So we'll be seeing that off towards your evening hours. It really does fade away. There's 9 p.m., not much going on at that time. And then we track off towards your weekend. Now, your weekend doesn't look all that bad. I will tell you this. Continually seeing that drying trend. That's what we want to hear, and that's exactly what we're dealing with both Saturday and Sunday. I will tell you this on Saturday. Looks like if you do see a chance of rain, it's mainly going to be in southern Kentucky, and that's the best shot at that. But still, smaller chances of rain there on Saturday. Sunday looks mainly dry. So, guys, the weekend's actually working out for us. It actually doesn't look all that bad if you're trying to get those plans in. A lot of fairs going on. Kicked off the Bluegrass Fair yesterday. Got lucky yesterday because just like I was talking about, it's been hit and miss, very spotty. We didn't get it here in Lexington, really. It was really all around us. So hopefully that's going to be the case again today because a lot of fairs are going on. Crossing our fingers.
Yeah, because everybody gets their turn for the rain.
That's true.
Right.
You're right. That's what it sounds like.
Thank you.
Well, a small Vermont pet business is putting up big sales numbers thanks to a line of doggy chew toys that happen to look a lot like the 2016 presidential candidates.
Yeah, the campaign's working its way into everything. No matter which way your pooch leans politically, there's a toy for him with Clinton, Trump, even some leftover Bernie Sanders toys there. The toys go for $20, but you might want to move quickly. One of them, once they keep selling out, you probably, well, you might be able to guess which one there is really going fast. See it there?
And do the dogs know the difference?
I don't know, but whichever their political leanings,
people could always find a way to make some money on something like that. Well, a revival of an iconic musical heads to Broadway, and the 2016 Emmy nominations are out.
Chris Martinez has your eye on entertainment.
HBO's Game of Thrones leads the pack of this year's Emmy nominations with 23, including one for Best Drama Series. Overall, the cable network also led the way with 94 nods.
The gloves are our conviction.
FX's The People vs. O.J. Simpson American Crime Story picked up 22 nominations.
Our revolution needs a leader.
Newcomer Rami Malek was nominated for Outstanding Lead Performer in a Drama Series for Mr. Robot. Jimmy Kimmel will host the 68th Annual Primetime Emmy Awards September 18th. At the movies, Francesca Eastwood plays a good girl turned bad in the new Western drama Outlaws and Angels. She stars as Florence Tilden, who is out for revenge after a group of outlaws break into her family's home.
Because it's a Western, I think Outlaws and Angels suits it, but it could be, Angels and Demons or...
Outlaws and Angels opens in limited release today. And the cast of Cats had their claws out to promote the first ever revival of Andrew Lloyd Webber's iconic musical. British singer Leona Lewis stars as Grisabella. Cats officially opens on Broadway later this month. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
All right, hope you'll keep it here on Mid-Morning on WKYT on this Friday, changing the lives of children through an uplifting ministry. We're going to find out about that.
How you can make a difference next on WKYT. And before we go, tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $20 million. And tomorrow's Powerball jackpot is $333 million.
Welcome back into Mid-Morning from WKYT. It's a way to make a real difference in the lives of children in Guatemala.
David Lane is Executive Officer for Uplifting Children's Ministry. And we do thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you all for having me on.
I understand this has been a part of your life for years now. And you go down there, you work very hard and spend most of your time there right
Yes,
now,
sir.
right? Yes, tell us about what you do.
Well, I spend 9 months out of the year down in Guatemala. And what I do is we have 30 sponsored children, which consists of me finding children that can't even afford public schooling, and then I get them an American sponsor and we put them in one of the best private schools. And then I personally give them Bible classes and English classes and a monthly care package.
What has been the most rewarding part of this? You've been there 3 years, right?
The most rewarding part would be the faces of the mothers, of seeing their child go to a school and receiving a care package with soap or soup or just cooking needs, and just seeing how grateful they are for it. And how it is here in the States, you almost gotta fight to make a kid grateful these days. But down there, they're just give them something, and they're so grateful. And then just being able to occupy their time and keep them off the streets down there, giving them something good to do, is very grateful.
The differences in culture certainly are stark. Here comes this Kentucky guy rolling in, and you walk around.
Yeah, I stand out down there.
Yeah, so how do you relate?
Well, I relate through, I guess, the love of Christ, because God's who sent me down there, and I want to share that with these kids. And it's hard because, you know, things that we worry about here in the States are things that they don't worry about at all. And they have more of a reason to worry. But then, you know, I come home and I see what's happened with police officers and stuff here. And then down there, it's a lot worse. And it's just, there's all kinds of little differences.
Now you're heading back August 1st. If people really want to be able to help you, you're raising money right now to help build a facility. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, actually, it's interesting because the largest ministry in Guatemala has agreed to match every dollar that our ministry raises this trip me being home. So this time, until August 1st, every donation given will be matched. So if someone gives 50, they're actually giving 100 to the ministry to build a facility so that we can reach more children. Right now, we're reaching between 200 to 300 children plus the families, and we just want to keep growing. And where we're at right now, we can't continue to grow, so we need to build a new facility.
The need is great.
The website is upliftingchildren.com. More information, and if folks want to help, they can get to you that way. Thanks for coming in. Good luck.
Thank y'all for having me. This was awesome.
Appreciate it.
And good luck to you as you head out on August 1st.
Thank you.
Well, keep it right here this mid-morning.
Yeah, it's almost the weekend. We're going to check in with the Mr. Food Test Kitchen next and see what you might make up there on Saturday or Sunday.
We're so glad you're with us today. They're gathering around the campfire in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. At least in spirit, they are.
Yeah, they're putting a new twist on a camping favorite with a recipe for pound cake s'mores.
As we wrap up our tasty camping adventures, we realize that we definitely need to do this more often. You know, we get so caught up in our day-to-day activities that we often forget to take some time to connect to Mother Nature. And since one of the best parts of camping is ooey gooey s'mores, we came up with an amped-up version that we make right on our grill. We start off by cutting a store-bought pound cake into slices and buttering one side of each slice. Then we place them on the grill for a minute or so until they start to get golden. Once they are, we butter the top and flip them over. Okay, now for the part that makes these more s'more-like. We top half of the pound cake with chocolate bars, and on top of that goes a few mini marshmallows. Then the remaining toasted pound cake goes on top of those, and there you have it. A twist on our favorite camping creation, the s'more. The best part of making them is that we can make a bunch at one time. And when you squish all those layers together, get ready for a taste of heaven. So to get the step-by-step recipe, all you have to do is go to our website and look up pound cake s'mores. It's that easy. I'm Howard from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, and I hope you had as much fun with our camping adventure as we did. Because when you combine Mother Nature and good food, ooh, it's so good.
Well, I would never thought to grill pound cake, but
it looked good.
It did look
messy,
good.
but it really looked good.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. Here's something else that looks pretty good. Actually, your weekend forecast. It doesn't look that bad at all. I'll tell you this today, central and northern zones, watch storms sparking up anywhere from 1 p.m. at the earliest to about 3 p.m. at the latest, sparking up. But they'll move through anywhere from 1 p.m. to about 7 p.m. So watch out for that as they travel on through. They're hit and miss. Not everybody will see those. And most actually stay dry today. Now Saturday, most of that should be southern zones, south of I-64. So most stay dry on Saturday too. And then Sunday looks pretty dry. So
all right.
Not bad.
Micah will
There
update
it
the
is.
forecast, and we'll have all the latest news, including the latest developments from France, coming up on WKYT News at noon.